Last week, we showed that in the European Union, we can also act very quickly when necessary. We agreed that we would not let ourselves be intimidated by tariff threats again. The European Council convened a special meeting in Brussels on short notice. We demonstrated unity and resolve, and with that, we were able to avert the tariffs once again threatened by the American president. Anyone in the world who believes, and I want to state this very clearly and unequivocally right now, that they must use tariffs to make policy against Europe, must know, and they know it now, that we are ready and able to defend ourselves against it, even if it becomes necessary. The growth gap of the European Union, when compared to the United States and also to China, has been steadily widening to our disadvantage for well over a decade now. We must reverse this dynamic immediately. Because if we are truly serious about our capacity for global political action, then that very capacity for global political action depends, first and foremost, on economic strength. We ourselves have blocked this economic power. Therefore, we can and must now also resolve these blockades ourselves. And we are already doing just that, my dear ladies and gentlemen, and all esteemed colleagues. I will come back to that in a moment. Finally, thirdly, we must stand united on these tasks in Europe because we can only successfully resolve them together as a united Europe.
Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps we have used this word too often in the past without having truly lived up to its full meaning. That word is unity.
Today we absolutely must act. Pure declarations of intent are no longer sufficient on their own. And that is precisely where the truly great opportunity for us here in Europe lies.
Because we have clearly seen it over recent weeks, just imagine how much we are truly capable of achieving when we act with complete unity. This kind of unity is an incredibly significant power factor across the entire world. Before Christmas, here in Berlin, through European unity, we managed to keep the Americans on our side once more regarding the resolution of the Ukraine question by showing a willingness to provide security guarantees of which there had been no discussion until that point. At the beginning of this year, we held a meeting in Paris with the so-called coalition of the willing, among them the majority of European nations, 28 or rather 27 of the 35 states in this particular coalition of the willing were personally represented in Paris by their respective heads of state and government.
That was European unity, dear colleagues. And last week we showed that in the European Union we can also act very quickly when necessary. We agreed that we would not let ourselves be intimidated by tariff threats again. The European Council convened a special meeting in Brussels on short notice. We demonstrated unity and resolve, and with that, we were able to avert the tariffs once again threatened by the American president.
Anyone in the world who believes, and I want to state this very clearly and unequivocally right now, that they must use tariffs to make policy against Europe, must know, and they know it now, that we are ready and able to defend ourselves against it, even if it becomes necessary. It is equally clear to all of us, and indeed to me personally, that we should not carelessly jeopardize alliances that have grown over time. I stated this at the World Economic Forum in Davos, and I would very much like to reiterate it here. The Transatlantic Alliance, Transatlantic Trust, remains a fundamental value in its own right,
even today.
For us in Germany, by the way, this applies in a very special manner.
We have also lived out this transatlantic alliance. For instance, after September 11th, 2001, when we went to Afghanistan alongside our American partners as part of the NATO mission Enduring Freedom, and for many years provided that country with greater stability and enhanced security.
Ladies and gentlemen, 59 German soldiers have, throughout the nearly 20-year mission in Afghanistan, tragically lost their lives.
Well, over 100 individuals have been seriously injured in combat and attacks.
We will not allow this mission, which we also carried out in the interest of our ally, the United States of America. We will not allow this mission to be disparaged and degraded today.
And out east and east, I would like to tell our soldiers, both those deployed and those serving at their bases, once again today, your service was and is invaluable. This service is dedicated to our freedom and to maintaining peace throughout the world. The federal government of the Federal Republic of Germany stands firmly behind all our soldiers. Despite some irritations, we must not lose sight of the true value of this alliance. The NATO alliance and the trust that has grown within NATO over more than 7 decades remain the best guarantee for freedom, peace, and security for all involved on both sides of the Atlantic.
And for this very reason, we as Europeans are determined to preserve NATO and to significantly strengthen its presence, both from Europe and within Europe itself.
Dear colleagues, we will therefore always extend the hand of cooperation to the United States of America. The foundation of this guiding principle also remains the statement that I made in Davos just 1 week ago. As democracies, we are partners and allies, and not subordinates. And it is precisely from this principle that we are simultaneously open to new partnerships. Ladies and gentlemen, we, the Federal Republic of Germany, want to be part of a dynamic, agile network of sovereign states that wish to continue upholding a rules-based order. We strongly advocate for free trade, and we are committed to having no, or at most, only very minimal tariffs. This is because we have learned from our extensive experience that it is exclusively through open markets and truly free trade that we can ensure the correct path for the enduring prosperity and the long-term security of our entire nation.